Today's vlog is going to be a very real and raw and realistic day in my life as a mom with 3 kids, 3 and under. I wouldn't even say that we have gotten ourselves to a place where there's like a solid routine yet. I do feel like confident and well equipped now to take all 3 out by myself to most public spaces. One of the blessings of it all is just the relationship that all 3 of our kids now have with each other. Morning, you guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to today's vlog. I feel like I need to start this video by addressing the obvious that my hair looks so different and is so dark. I actually just went and got it done yesterday, so it hasn't even been washed yet. I wanted to just switch things up. I actually haven't had my natural hair color since I was like 13 years old. I've always had some sort of variation of highlights in my hair. It wasn't even until June that I really started growing out my natural hair, and then all of the colors just like weren't lining up. They weren't consistent. So I wanted everything to be one consistent color for the first time in literally over a decade. And so I went and got it done yesterday and went one shade darker, but like semi-permanent, so it will kind of fade into a little bit lighter than this. I also did chop off a couple inches and then just like layer it, but it still feels really full and just like so soft. So I'm definitely still getting used to it. I feel like waking up this morning and looking in the mirror, I was like, who is that? But I do really like it. Currently just after 8 a.m. Everyone was up this morning at 7 and Jared is currently out with the kids in the playroom while I just finished getting ready for the day. I'm not doing anything crazy because I am just gonna be like at home with my kids today, but I still always like to feel put together, and I literally always, every time I get ready, finish things off with a fragrance. I am so excited because one of my all-time favorite beauty brands has released a fragrance and you guys are going to love it. But this is Retrospect. It is from Merit and they are launching it this October, and this is actually their most requested product ever. First of all, the package is so stunning, but it is a modern, like vintage inspired scent with clean ingredients, which is something that I love. Ever since I've been having babies, I've always been using clean perfumes. That's so important to me because it doesn't make sense to like prioritize clean beauty and clean skincare and all of that and then just like douse yourself in chemicals before you walk out the door. And I honestly don't even know how to describe the scent to you guys. It's weird because I feel like the scent is kind of familiar, like something that I've smelled before, but also just like something so fresh and so new and so interesting. The first time that I sprayed it and smelled it, I just felt like it would literally be what you would expect the clean girl aesthetic to smell like in bottle form. It's an extrait de parfum. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, but basically that means that there's less alcohol in it and it's designed for longer use and longer wear, so it will kind of like morph and blend with your skin as you wear it over the day. The top notes on it are aldehydes, bergamot oil, pear, and ambrette absolute. So I mean, literally things that I've never even heard of before, but smell so good. I've been wearing it just over a month now and my husband loves it. It's one of my go-tos, especially for our date nights. Literally everything that Merit touches turns to gold, and I'm so excited to have this clean fragrance in my repertoire. If you guys are interested in checking out Retrospect from Merit before it launches to the public, you can head to the link in my description box. I will also put it here on the screen for you, and you can also save $26 on the daytime Retrospect set when you shop through that link. As always, every order on the Merit website also comes with a free signature makeup bag. I have also been using this for the past 3 years, and orders over $40 USD will get free shipping as well. So be sure to check it out. You guys are going to love the scent in all of Merit's makeup products. Thank you so much to Merit for working with me on today's video. Today's vlog is going to be a very real and raw and realistic day in my life as a mom with 3 kids, 3 and under. I stopped filming like singular day in the life videos shortly after we had Rosie, just because quite honestly, it is so chaotic and so hectic in this season of life. There is so much joy and so many amazing high moments throughout our days, but it's also just like wild to have 3 kids that are 3 and under because we've got 2 toddlers, we've got a baby. There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of messes, there is a lot of big feelings happens in just a lot in our days. And so to make it more realistic for myself to actually have the opportunity to film and to vlog, I had started kind of spacing it out over days, and most of the time that's what works and makes the most sense. But I figured I would try my hand today at just kind of starting and stopping a vlog in one day so that you guys can see a little bit more of a picture of what life actually really looks like right now, because I know that that is important as well for people to see and not have like an unrealistic idea or expectation of what it would really look like to have 3 kids the way that we have them and their age gaps. They are now 3, 2, and 5 months old, and I stay at home with them. So today you will get more of a picture of what that looks like.
This hand rubs your tummy in a circle and this one pats your head. Oh, it's hard to do, hey?
One?
Yeah.
The beginning of November.
Why wait so long?
What'd you say?
I said, why wait so long?
You want to do the Christmas tree before Halloween?
I would.
You're joking. If I could go back and say that to you like 7 years ago, you'd be shook. Jesus, thank you so much for today. We thank you for a new day. We pray that you would be with each one of us today, God, that we would look for opportunities to recognize your presence and glorify you. We pray that you would bless this food to our body. In Jesus' name, amen. The Philistines had a secret weapon called Goliath. Goliath was a terrifying soldier, and worst of all, a giant. A giant so strong and so tall and so scary that no one had ever been able to fight him. Rosie, you're gonna be so excited to try this. You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? What is this? It's a toy for you. Blast off. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Okay, time to dry our hands.
Okay.
You can go play. Mommy's gonna put Rowie down for her nap. Okay. What about, should Mommy's job be to find the corner pieces?
Yeah.
What's the top of her head look like?
It looks like pink.
Okay, baby girl is down for now. At like 5, 6 months is really where nap habits and routines start to become solidified. And so while I love a good contact nap and I'm happy to do a carrier nap, that is like all that I do right now still. And so I've been really trying to get her used to being in a crib. The room stuff here is a little bit crazy right now because I was intending on having our girls in one room together, but I've actually just recently moved our middle in with his big sister. So our 2 oldest are in that room just because I felt like it was time to have her out of here for nighttime sleep, to get her used to the crib for naps and the cascade of all of those things. It just didn't make sense for her to start being with her sister because she does wake up throughout the night a lot right now. So I've been starting her in the middle, and then when she wakes up in the night, if it's like too much, I bring her back in here with us. But again, I feel like having naps in there during the day will get her more used to that space. It's just whether or not it actually works. I decided to come in here and get myself dressed, and I'm gonna try and do a little bit of a tidy up in here before we transition into getting everyone ready and starting school. Today is, do you have any guesses of what day it could be? Jude, let's not color with marker on the table, buddy. The markers are actually just for our book. Today is a Thursday. That means yesterday was Wednesday. And it means tomorrow is...
Friday.
That's right, Friday.
I want coffee.
You have one right here.
Tea.
Yeah, that's your morning tea.
Coffee.
Right?
First, from all the drawing.
And here's some tea for you. Perfect.
What?
I
What?
saw some frost, but I think it might still be fall.
A ducky.
It's a ducky! What does a ducky say, Jude?
Quack, 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 quack.
So D is for ducky. What sound does a D make?
Duck, duck, duck.
You're gonna wipe it up?
Where is
Thank you.
duck?
I'll give you a hint. Squirrels and chipmunks love to shove these ones in their cheeks and go like this.
Acorns.
Yes, you got it!
So line up and then down we go, Jude. So line down. No, Jude. You want me to do dots? I wanna do one. I wanna do.
There was a long and thoughtful silence, and then Pooh, who had been frowning very hard for some minutes, said, "I make it 15. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. You gonna be feeling better? Okay, so we've done table time for about 30-ish, 35 minutes now, but I'm sensing that everyone's getting a little bit antsy. So we're playing in the playroom now, but I'm gonna get them bundled up to go outside. We had our first frost this morning. It was in the negative, so it's chilly, but we're gonna bundle up and we're gonna go for a little fall walk so that we have some leaves to do an activity that I have for the kids this afternoon. Okay. When it's winter in the northern hemisphere, that's where we are, food is brought from the southern hemisphere, where it's summer. by the tilt of the earth as it moves around the sun. Okay, I feel like this day has literally been a blur, but here we are. I have a little snack plate for myself with some pita and cheese, carrots, some salami and hummus. I'm so hungry. That is one thing that I'm not good at, is like actually eating when the kids are awake and with me. Sometimes there's either not enough of something or I don't want to eat the same thing that I'm giving to them, so I'll just wait until everyone's asleep because then no one is asking me for a bite. It is currently 3 p.m. and it is just in the last like 15-20 minutes that I have gotten everyone settled for quiet time. Usually my goal for quiet time to happen is like sometime between like 1 and 1:30 to have everyone either in their room for quiet time or for their nap, and today it was just not happening. And it's not because of any like particular thing, it was just like immediate need after immediate need that I was kind of like tending to, and then all of a sudden we were at 2 p.m. before anybody went down. So here we are. This afternoon I'm just going to chill because we are actually out with some people from our church at their house for dinner tonight, and that means that I don't have any like dinner meal prep to get done this afternoon and early evening, and I'll have more space to kind of reset the house later on. So as I was laying with Rosie and just trying to get her to go to sleep, I was thinking it would be interesting to share just some of my reflections on like 3 kids under 3 so far. I wouldn't even say that we have gotten ourselves to a place where there's like a solid routine yet, but just off the cuff I listed out some things to just share about our world right now and what it's all looking like. So I've broken it out kind of into like the things that have been hard about it, but also the things that we have really loved. And I'm gonna just start by saying that this highly depends on your kids and the kids that you have and the temperament that they have, because you guys know if you have multiples that literally every single one of your kids can be so different, and you can provide the same environment from a parenting perspective, but especially in the little years, like you're not really seeing a lot of the fruit of that yet. They kind of come out how they come out, and they've got their preferences when it comes to sleep, and their preferences to eating or feeding, and their preferences to play, whether they're introverted or extroverted. So I feel like that has a lot to do with kind of what your experience would look like. So someone that has 3 under 3 and is watching this, maybe like that wasn't our experience, but it highly depends on their temperament. And then the other thing that it depends on so highly is the level of support that you have, because I know that there are some people who've got grandma on speed dial and can call her over to come and hold the baby while they're doing X, Y, or Z, or they can send the kids away for a sleepover. And so if you don't have that, that definitely changes the intensity of the season and kind of your experience with it. All that being said, in terms of what has been challenging, lack of sleep across the board. We had an amazing sleeper in our first baby, and I feel like that kind of became not my expectation, but I felt like I knew the different things that I needed to do to set up an environment for my baby to sleep well. When I applied all of that to my second baby, it didn't work quite the same way. It took him a lot longer to sleep through the night, and he was a little bit more of a contact napper, not nearly as much as our third. So I feel like I kind of got this in-between experience where it was like, okay, some of these things are working, but I'm also having to try a lot harder to get them to work. With baby number 3, every single thing that I have ever read about baby sleep and what you need to do has basically just been out the window, because she has dealt with so many different things, from tongue-tied to multiple food allergies to severe reflux. And so when you have a baby that is literally just in pain, you can't just like put them down drowsy but awake and expect that they're not gonna like scream to be picked back up because they're uncomfortable. So again, even like the lack of sleep, I feel like has been impacted by our kids' temperaments and who they are uniquely, more than the fact that we have had 3 kids under 3, because although it is probably less likely that you have 3 kids that are all amazing sleepers and just sleep through the night all the time, we have had a situation where it's been a mixed bag, and sometimes our kids are all sleeping great. I mean, the baby not so much, but where the older two are sleeping great, and so it's just the baby that's waking up. Sometimes we've got all three waking up in the night. So my husband and I have just been like tag teaming it, where he takes care of the older two in the night, I take care of the baby, and we just kind of divide and conquer. The next one that I wrote down has been like non-stop movement. This is not even something that I really realized. I mean, I feel like I feel it physically, especially by the end of the day, but we were hanging out with family members, and a couple of them are in a season where there are no kids yet in their life, but they want kids. So they were kind of like just seeing what it all looked like in the dynamics, and they were like, we feel like you guys never stop moving. Like, you're basically just jumping from one thing to the next and responding to one need after another. Developmentally, as much as we teach our kids to do certain tasks and kind of be responsible for certain things, they need our help with pretty well everything, and that's okay. It's just part of the deal. This one really just wants to snuggle today, so here we are. Next thing on my list was juggling the emotions of all three, and this is something that I talked about a little bit in my like 2 under 2 pros and cons video. I always just find this the hardest when my kids are so obviously having these like really big emotions and need me to help them get to a place of calm again. It's a lot easier to navigate when my husband is home or there's another person here with us, but because it is a lot of the time that I'm just at home with all three, when all three of them are crying, I just have the hardest time, like internally, being able to stay calm and cool and know kind of how to like triage all of that. So oftentimes I'll literally just bring everybody in and we'll kind of all navigate the big feelings and emotions together, myself included. This next one I wrote down because it has been a challenge, although I do feel like I'm getting a lot more confident in it, and it is getting out of the house with all three. I do feel like I can do this now, especially because in terms of like stroller system, I feel like the UPPAbaby Vista V2, which we got for our 2 under 2, we have loved it so much, and it has really served us well also for the 3 under 3 stage. Honestly, I do feel like confident and well equipped now to take all three out by myself to most public spaces. It's when there is a timeline on it and it's like you need to be there by 9 a.m. or you need to be there by 1 p.m. or something like that, where it's like I need honestly 30 minutes of buffer time, because it doesn't matter what time I'm supposed to be somewhere, something will happen that will slow us down as we're getting out the door. Okay, the last thing that I wrote down, and this one I feel like is probably the biggest thing on the list of things that have been a struggle for me in a way that I didn't quite expect it, and it is missing your spouse. With 2 under 2, this is definitely something that we had to navigate because there is just like the constant demand of things that need to get done. But then when you up that and you're already coming out of a season of 2 under 2, it's just kind of like prolonged functioning beside each other and like checking things off of a list, and it's really easy to just kind of keep doing that and function as partners and taking care of the kids, but not have a ton of time to connect like as a married couple in one-on-one. Even with consistent date nights, like Jared and I have found that it can be really hard, and you can feel a lot of that strain of just like missing each other and missing those opportunities to connect. And so we've been trying to get creative about how to build in more time together, and one of the things that we've been trying to do is like set an alarm at 6 a.m. and spend time together just like 6 to 7 before the day starts. Sometimes we're able to do that. Sometimes our kids are up in the night, too many times for us to actually realistically wake up that early for the day, but it's all the little things that you just like need to think a lot more intentionally and strategically about to stay connected as a married couple. Okay, so in terms of some of the pros, thinking about this very critically, I honestly think that the only parts of 3 under 3 that have felt like much harder than 2 under 2 have been Rosie's kind of like unique challenges as a baby in general. And it's hard to say this with full certainty, but part of me feels like the first 4 months of her life would have been a gajillion times easier if as a baby there weren't so many things that we had to navigate and so many extra appointments and so much like unresolved crying and all of that stuff for basically the first quarter of her life. And on her good days, it feels so much easier and feels very similar to kind of like the level of intensity of having 2 under 2. Because if you've got a baby that is relaxed and is cool to just like hang out and be a part of things and feeds well and sleeps decently, that kind of just rolls into whatever you are doing with your 2 toddlers. But I feel like our worlds were kind of flipped upside down with everything being just so intense for her. So I don't know. It's really hard to say again because it's a hypothetical world, but I do feel like if she was like a very easy baby, that the experience with 3 under 3 would feel quite similar to the intensity of 2 under 2. Another huge pro that we've experienced has just been like the reality of the shared items across our kids, because all of our kids have shared all of the same baby gear, all of the same clothing, and all within like the last 3 years. Everything still feels new, everything was still on hand, and it has just been so much easier than that kind of initial slog of trying to get set up for everything that you need to bring a baby into your house. And whenever I need new clothes for her, I'm either pulling it out of the garage in a box that I've left easily accessible because I put it there only like 8 months ago, or I'm honestly just pulling it out of the closet because I didn't even need to put it away. And their stuff still looks good as new. I think another huge pro, and this is something that I don't know quite how to put into words, but it's just the fact that you are in the season with young kids kind of across the board already, and so you are just really in it when you've got 3 under 3. You are already kind of in the season of having baby stuff and toys all over your house. You are already in the season of teaching discipline and obedience to your kids at a very young age, and so I feel like we're kind of just doing a lot of the same thing like times 3 right now, whereas I know a lot of the time when you have kids that are spaced out for years, it's like you are just going back into that from scratch all over again, like 4, 5, 6 years later. And I know that there are a lot of pros to doing that too. And I don't even necessarily think that we are done having kids yet, but I do know that there are not like a whole lot more on the agenda. So it does feel good to know that what I think is going to be the hardest of these seasons when it comes to just like lack of sleep and crazy schedules and all of that is going to be like majority done into the future of our lives and our marriage. And the last thing that I wrote down as just a pro of this season and kind of just one of the blessings of it all is just the relationship that all 3 of our kids now have with each other. It was such a gift to watch it happen the first time that we did 2 under 2, and now the second time that we have done 2 under 2. Do everything together. They are always looking for each other, and if one wakes up before the other does, it's like, where is my sister? Where is my brother? So I have just loved seeing that unfold, and now I'm seeing the same kind of thing grow, but times 2 towards their baby sister, and so I'm really excited to see how that pans out too. That is all that I wrote down for now. I thought it was interesting and helpful to kind of like write down some of what the experience has been so far, because it really is such a blur, and I can't believe that she is 5 months coming up on 6 months in a couple weeks. It just is like, where does the time go? And sometimes I feel pressure and guilt, like I should be further along in like routines and schedules and what our life looks like with our kids, but also just trying to give myself a lot of grace, because the first 4 months of her life, quite honestly, were survival mode for our whole family. I feel like we didn't even get the opportunity to think about what a schedule and a routine would look like until we hit 5 months and we started to see some improvement with her. Even still, we're not there yet, and it feels like there is so much work yet to do. So if you are a type A like me and you are feeling restricted by just the reality of the constraints of motherhood, whether that is a lack of sleep every single night or a desire for a schedule that it feels impossible to adhere to, know that you are not alone in that, and that your season for all of that will come. I'm just trying to focus right now on what God is teaching me in this season of relinquishing control, of letting go, of just kind of rolling with the punches and trying to soak up every day as much as I can.
Round and round the garden goes the honey bear. 1 step, 2 step, 3 1.
Do you get hugs? Well, it is after after 5 p.m. now. Everyone is awake. Jared is home. I thought that we might get to the leaf craft this afternoon, but since he has come home, he's just been playing with the kids, hide and seek, tag, all of the fun things. He is the best for things like that, so I have not interrupted. But we are getting ready to head out of the house now to have dinner at a friend's house tonight, which is such a treat. So I am going to wrap this vlog up here. I wanted to remind you guys that if any of you are interested in checking out the new Retrospect fragrance from Merit, that I do have a link where you can shop that before the launch. So I will put that down in the description box of this video and again here on the screen. Thank you again to Merit for working with me on this video. And of course, thank you to you guys for watching and for being here. I hope that you enjoyed coming along with me for our day today. And until my next video, I love you guys, I'm praying for you guys, and I will see you soon.